3. Gulliver in Lilliput. Initial task. Imagine you are in the country of Lilliput. How would you manage to convey your feelings to them? Read the story of Gulliver to know the adventure he had in the Lilliput with tiny people. Jonathan Swift's famous novel, Gulliver's Travel, is just that, a novel about the main character, Gulliver, who goes on many journeys. Here is an extract from that novel. On a voyage to the South Sea island in the Pacific Ocean, Gulliver's ship crashed into some rock and sank. He was lucky to swim to shore safely. When he reached to the dry land, he was so hungry and tired that he fell asleep at once. His journey led him to the land of the Lilliputians. Let us read how Gulliver felt there. I slept very well for several hours. When I woke up, I tried to get onto my feet, but I could not move. My arms and legs and my long thick hair were tied to the ground. I could feel several thin pins of string across my body from neck down to the bottom of my legs. The only part of my body that I could move was my eyes. I could hear a lot of noise around me. Many things were moving about, but I could not see them. After a while, I felt something on my left leg. It was alive, and it moved gently over my body towards my chin. Suddenly I saw, in front of me standing on my body, a very, very small man. He was only about 6 inches tall. He held a bow and an arrow. Then I felt about 40 more little people climbing over me. I could not believe it. I was so surprised that I shouted very loudly, and all the little people ran away in fright. Many jumped to the ground, and some were badly hurt when they fell off my body. But they returned soon. One of them came very close and called out in a high, clear voice, but I could not understand his language. Lying there made me feel very uncomfortable. I tried to free myself by breaking some of the string which had been tied to stakes in the ground. I managed to free my left arm and tried to pull hard on the left side of my head. It was very painful, but I succeeded in loosening some more stakes. Now I was able to turn my head about 2 inches. As I was doing this, the little people ran away. I heard someone shout an order, and all at once about 100 arrows shot through the air at me. Those that landed on my face and hand felt like sharp needles. I shouted with pain. I covered my face with my left hand and tried to break all the strings. I wanted to get free, but the little men shot more arrows. Some tried to push their spears into me. Luckily, my jacket was made of strong cloth, and their spears were not sharp enough to go through that. I decided to lie still. When the little people saw me lying still, they stopped shooting. Then they built a little platform. Its top was about 18 inches from the ground. One of the little men climbed onto the platform and began to speak, but I could not understand anything that he said. I was thirsty, As it was very hot, I opened my mouth and pointed to it because I was hungry. He understood. He ordered some people to place ladders against my sides, and they did this at once. More than 100 men climbed the ladder, carrying baskets of bread and meat. Their loaf of bread were so small that I ate 3 of them at a time. When I was thirsty, they rolled a barrel close to my head. It held about half a pint of wine. The little people were pleased because I had eaten their food. But when I wanted to be free, they made it clear that I could have food but not my freedom. Vocabulary: stakes, pieces of wood set in the ground for support. Barrel, a large, round, wooden container with flat ends and curved sides. Pint, a unit of measuring liquids. Grammatical structure. Adjectives. Adjectives are describing words that tell us more about nouns or pronouns. Different kinds of adjectives are mentioned here to describe nouns. Adjective of quality, good girl. Adjectives of quantity, few apples. Adjectives of number, 2 bags. Demonstrative adjectives, this book. Possessive adjectives, my bag. Empathetic adjectives, Rohan is his own master. A. Underline the adjectives and circle the nouns they describe in the following sentences. Identify the kind of adjectives in each sentence. Conversational skills. Divide the class in groups. Ask each group to list the things that can be done to make life easier for those who are very tall or very short. Then, as an entire class, choose the 3 best suggestions. Let's listen. Listen to the passage read by your teacher and state whether the following sentences are true or false. As we continue to modernize our lifestyles, riding instead of walking, working in a cubicle instead of in a field, playing iPods instead of sports, more people are becoming overweight and worse, obese in fact. There are so many overweight and obese people that some public health officials now call it an epidemic, particularly because of the many resulting health problems. Childhood obesity has reached epidemic proportions. Getting our obesity and overweight epidemic under control will involve more than just telling everyone to go on a diet. It requires an integrated approach that includes promoting healthy eating habits and encouraging exercise, training healthcare professionals so that they can effectively support people who need to lose weight and help others avoid gaining weight.